Ahe, Molweni, Sanbonani, good morning. My name is Noma Tamsangamdlazi, and I thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful conversation today. I hope that wherever you are doing well, you are thriving, and you're just ready to take on the full burden of life. You're just ready to go full force into the kind of person that you're meant to be. This is Life Simplified, a podcast where we discuss all the inspirational, relevant information for your personal development. We try to dig deeper on the core values of humanity to see through how much possible is it for us to leverage our ability to live a more focused life and more deliberate, a more intentional kind of life, so that we could be at a position where we could attain the best versions of ourselves. And if you haven't subscribed to join our community and you find this interesting, please do make sure that you join our community by subscribing to our channel. You hit the notification bell, you like and you comment, and you just engage in all our conversations. Please and thank you. So in this conversation today, we derive lessons on part 3 of DANDAPANI's book, The Power of Unwavering Focus, where he helps us understand at a deeper level the powers of concentration so that we could just get the most out of life and attain higher states of consciousness. So it is such a powerful book. If anyone does want to be at a position where they can fully focus, they can fully attain higher states of consciousness, they should get themselves a copy of this book. But for now, I want to share at least 12 lessons on the ability to leverage your mind. So, lesson number 1 is that concentration is having mastery over awareness. Yes. Concentration is the ability to fully focus on whatever, right? And that in doing that, you need awareness, you need focus, you need attention for the entire process, right? So it is important for all of us to understand that concentration is having mastery over awareness. When you're at a position where you can fully concentrate in the things you're doing as a person, that is the ability for you to have gotten mastery over awareness. You understand where to fully focus your awareness, your attention, and whatever it is that you're doing. So it truly is important for you to learn on how to concentrate so that you could avoid multitasking and getting things done at the same time, right? So you at a position now where you want to fully understand how to concentrate so that you could have mastery over awareness, so that your awareness itself does not move around thinking about whatever, but you could just be more intentional and more deliberate in understanding when to fully focus your awareness so that you could just attain the most in that particular process, so that you could be at a position where you just get the most in that entire experience itself. So it truly is important for all of us to learn to concentrate so that we could finally attain mastery over awareness, such that our awareness, it does not move around and thinking about quite a lot of things, which then leads to confusion. So it truly is important for all of us to learn to understand, to get the most out of life through learning to concentrate in whatever it is that you're doing. Fully focus on it without thinking about anything else other than that. So when the cost of distraction is too heavy to bear, the price of focus is worth paying. Now, because distraction is the ultimate time waster, you find nothing done in distracting yourself in quite a lot of time, right? So it truly is important for you to be more intentional about learning to focus, because the price of focus is worth paying when you realize that the cost of distraction itself is just too heavy to bear. It truly is important for you to understand that distraction is just the ultimate time waster, and you should be more intentional about really understanding when to focus, because you should want to spend most of your energy trying to focus and you get things done, and you fully focus your attention in understanding that which matters, that you believe it is the purpose of your life. And in anything that you find that it truly is important for you to learn to be more intentional about just focusing your energy, focusing your awareness in it, right? Without spending so much time in distractions. There's quite a lot of distractions these days because there's social media, there's all these things, right? So we're at a position as a society itself where we've got quite a lot of distractions, more than it was before, right? So we should learn to be just more intentional about minimizing distractions themselves, so that we could understand that it is important for us to be at a position where we could get things done and we fully manifest the main purpose of our lives. So it truly is important for you to be more intentional, to be more deliberate, and understanding that distraction is just the ultimate time waster, and you want to spend most of your time trying to get things done, and you want to focus on the things that actually matter to you. So number 3, build a pattern in your subconscious mind, a habit of keeping awareness in one thing at a time. So we said that the subconscious mind is the storage of information and experiences, right? So it truly is important for you to understand that in that subconscious mind, you should be more intentional about learning to keep awareness in one thing at a time. So when you can teach yourself that, you could actually attain best and the highest state of consciousness in whatever it is that you do, because now you don't try to be multitasking or doing different things at the same time, but you learn to fully focus in your awareness in getting things done in whatever it is that you believe that you should be focusing in, so that you could finally attain and manifest the purpose of your life. So it truly is important for you to build a pattern in your subconscious mind that will allow you to just live a more focused life, just in general, because you've built a pattern in that subconscious mind that helps you understand that it truly is important for you to straighten your awareness, you get things done in that particular sequence, right? So that it could just be easier for you to get things done, because you've got this habit in your subconscious mind itself that helps you understand that you do only one thing at a time, and you fully focus your awareness, you fully focus your attention in whatever it is that you are doing, you are present with it. So it is such a beautiful thing to learn to just focus, because you won't be draining yourself in the process, right? You'll just learn to it'll be much easier for you to do whatever, because now you've got a pattern itself in your subconscious mind that is just used to this, and you won't find it to be at a position where you need more effort to try to focus, to try to concentrate, right? Because this is your habit. It is a habit that you've created for yourself. So all the habits in your life are stored in your subconscious mind, right? And you should understand how to leverage those habits so that you could just get the most out of life and be more present in whatever it is that you do. So lesson number 4 says that take an incremental approach to develop a skill. So this is the ability for you to develop a skill that will sustain change itself, right? So in taking an incremental approach to develop a skill, you take an approach that allows you to sustain change. So it truly is important for you to understand that in whatever it is that you're trying to learn, in whatever it is that you're trying to master, you can never be a master in one day after repetition or in whatever, just after one day. No, you need to understand that you should be at a position where you want to continuously do whatever it is to develop an incremental approach to develop that skill or quality, right? You can never wake up tomorrow and master in whatever. You should understand that it does take time for you to develop a skill. It does take time for you to be at a position where you could get a sustainable change in whatever it is that you're trying to master. So it truly is important for you to understand that it is important that you should just be more intentional about taking an incremental approach to learning things, so that you could understand that that is the only route. It is the only route that could just sustain change and help you be at a position where you could get things done, right? So it truly is important for you to just make peace, to understand that you should just take an incremental approach to develop a skill or quality, So isn't those are quick, they don't normally last. So it truly is important for you to understand that taking an incremental approach is the only which could sustain changes in your life. So, number 5, it says that be patient and compassionate with yourself in learning to focus. So, this has to be a very intentional and more of a deliberate process. And you should understand that you should truly be more patient and more compassionate with yourself when you try to learn to focus as a person. Yes, if you're not used to focus, if you're not used to straighten your awareness and that particular thing, it might be difficult before because you're still starting. But it is important for you to never give in, to be more patient and more compassionate with yourself, and understand that because you're still learning this, right, and it might take you time, right, it might take you so much effort for you to be at a position where you could master the process of the ability to concentrate, the ability to focus, right? So focus is understanding that it is just getting things done without much of distractions, right? So it is important for all of us to learn to be focused, to just be at a position where you could just wake up and you get things done without necessarily holding your phone for a particular moment, right? It is such a beautiful process for you to learn to be more intentional about really straightening your awareness and focusing it, because it reaps truly powerful results at the end of the day, because you get to a position where you can self-realize, you can get things done, and you live the kind of life that you've always planned and you've always wanted. You're just more present in all your experiences because you've learned how to fully focus your awareness in that particular process. So it truly is important that when you struggle in something that relates to the ability to focus, so you just never beat yourself up as such, right? You're at a position where you could just make peace and understand that because I'm learning this, yes, I might struggle, I might stumble, right? And that is okay. The most important thing is understanding how to be more patient and more compassionate with yourself in that pursuit. So, number 6, it says that develop willpower. It is important for all of us to be more intentional about developing discipline, because if you struggle with discipline, then you won't be able to manifest the main purpose of your life as a person, right? You will struggle in quite a lot of things because you simply struggle with discipline, which is just the basic. So he shares with us 3 simple ways here for us to develop discipline in any endeavor, in any pursuit, right? So the first lesson is that number 1, finish what you start, right? In whatever it is that you're doing, just learn to finish whatever it is that you're doing. After eating, make sure you wash your dishes, right? Just get things done and just be more at peace with understanding that in whatever it is that you do, you finish what you do. He makes simple examples that when you wake up, make sure that you make the bed same time. You don't go to on distractions on your phone or whatever. You make the bed and you just then get things other stuff done as well, right? So it is important for you to be more intentional about learning to finish what you start, because that is how you develop discipline as a person, right? And then number 2, finish it well beyond your expectations, no matter how long it takes, right? So just be more intentional about getting things done at a deeper level, and you just fully focus in that process without rushing, because there's a lot of us who just get things done just for okay we right? But we should be more intentional about finishing it well and beyond your expectations as well, right? So number 3, do a little bit more than you think you can. So I think this guy here tries to promote this mindset of really perfectionism, right? But it truly is important for us to get things done, and when we're done with them, we could just be at a position where we're proud because we've gotten such done, right? So it is beautiful to see us at a position where we could just learn on how to do things a little bit more than you would think you can. So it is important so that you could just attain the best experiences in life. You understand that it is beautiful for you to be at that position where you could just get things done a little bit more than you think you can, because you just understand yourself at a deeper level as a person. So it truly is important for us to be more intentional about developing willpower, because discipline is the only that could help us manifest the main purpose of our lives. And quite a lot of us struggle because we are truly struggling with the distractions, and we never really get to be more intentional about learning to develop willpower, to develop discipline, so that we could just be more at peace. Because if you spend most of your time in distractions, and you are this type of intentional and deliberate type of person, you will at a position where you're no longer happy, right? Because now you understand that there's something that you should be doing, and yet you're not doing it. You're busy with distractions. So discipline is the answer in understanding such things, to be at a position where you could just get things done, and you're just more intentional in the process. So number 7 says that live each moment intentionally. Life becomes fulfilling and rewarding, right? So it truly is important for you to learn to be more intentional about fully embracing the present moment, right? There's this Buddhist saying, it says that there's no other time other than the presence, right? So it truly is important for you to learn to fully immerse yourself in the eternity of this moment, right? Yes, there's some of the things you did in the past and you're not really proud of them. So the present moment is the only that you have the capability, that you have all the powers to do things that you could be proud of as a person, right? There is the past, yes, there is the future, right? So it truly is important that for you to understand that you're truly privileged for you to be here in the present moment. So it truly is important for you to understand and be more intentional about fully focusing your awareness in the eternity of this moment, so that in whatever it is that you do, you're just fully present with it. You just live a more fulfilling and rewarding type of life, because now you understand that each moment has to be lived intentionally, so that you could just get the most out of life and understand yourself better as a person. Just this intent to just leverage your mind's ability to just get the most out of life itself. So it truly is important for you to learn to focus as a person, to learn to be more intentional about living in the present moment, because really there's no other time other than the present, and at the end of the day, yes, you do wish for the future, right? But you're not really sure whether you will be in the future, right? So the present moment is the only that you have, right? So it really is important for you to understand this intent to live in the eternity of this moment, to immerse yourself in the eternity of this moment, so that you could experience higher states of consciousness and just live a more rewarding type of life. So number 8 is that develop willpower so you can experience higher states of consciousness and self-realization. So if you struggle with discipline, if you struggle with understanding willpower itself, then you won't be able to self-actualize as a person. You won't be at a position where you could finally attain self-realization. So it truly is important for all of us to understand that discipline will get us to the things that we want to manifest in life. It'll get us to a position where we could just be more proud of ourselves, to be at a position where we could be more at peace, because now we're able to manifest the things that we believe we've got the capability to just fully manifest, right? It will help us understand how to be at a position where you could leverage your mind's ability and just be more at peace as a person, because now you understand that you've been more intentional about developing willpower, about developing discipline as a person. So discipline is the only thing that will get you to a position where you could fully manifest the main purpose of your life and be actually the person you're meant to be in whatever it is that you believe in. It's either in music, in different talents that you have. You need discipline, you need willpower to get you to a position where you could be fully capable of just this intent to just be at a position where you could fully execute on the main purpose of your life. So discipline and consistency, those are just two main powerful tools for you to help you understand that you could get to a position where you can self-actualize as a person. You understand your capabilities at a better level, right? So it truly is important for us to understand that discipline, willpower will get us to places where we could never go if we were to just sit and just do nothing, right? So it is important for you to be more intentional about developing discipline itself, so that you could understand yourself better as a person. So lesson number 9 is the intent to leverage technology, right? So it truly is important for all of us to understand that we should let each interaction be driven by purpose, right? So when you get onto social media, you do whatever it is that you planned to do, and then you get out, right? So that you could avoid this intent to be distracted and quite a lot of things, right? So to avoid all distractions and everything, it is important for you to understand that you should let each interaction be driven by purpose, right? So it is such a beautiful thing to see any one of us learning to be able to leverage technology, so that we could just get the most out of life and be more at peace, because we understand ourselves better, right? So because we understand that how to leverage technology itself, so that we could just get the most out of life. And actually, because technology is not the entire distraction, right? The most important thing is understanding how to use technology so that you could leverage your life and get things done, and just be at a position where you could fully manifest the main purpose of your life through technology itself. So it truly is important for you to learn to understand that in social media, you go in, you get the job done, and then you leave, so that you could avoid a lot of distractions. Or if maybe you've planned that you want to be distracted, you get in there for those few minutes, and then when the time is up for you to get out of that, you just simply get out, right? So that you understand that you have the intent to limit the time you spend on social media. So in my life as well, I've been able to limit use of technology itself. I'm more of a digital minimalist right now as a person. I can go to work, clock in, work, and then come back home without spending much time on social media or just using my cell phone itself. I can be at a position where I just leave my phone in my place, right? Because I understand that I don't want to have this dopamine rush everywhere I go. I want to learn to be more present in my circumstances and just be more at peace. So it truly is important for all of us to learn to understand that we should just let all interactions in social media or in the use of technology itself to be driven by purpose, so that we could be at a position where we could just fully manifest and execute the main purpose of our lives. So lesson number 10 says, be careful of what you allow to your conscious mind, where you allow your awareness to travel in your mind throughout the day. So this is truly important, because when you allow your awareness to go each time, that's where that's how you will, that's the kind of energy you'll experience at the end of the day, right? And you'll experience the energy where your awareness has went to, right? So you want to be able to be at a position where you can control where your awareness goes, so that you understand that you don't have to be struggling with different emotions that you might be struggling with. So you want to be at a position where you could fully focus your awareness in the things that you've planned yourself as a person. You're more deliberate, you're more intentional on the things you want to think about as a person, right? So it truly is important for you to be more intentional of where you allow your conscious mind. We said your conscious mind is tied to your 5 senses, your sense of touch, see, smell, right? So all those senses, be more intentional of where you allow your awareness to go, right? Don't watch movies you know that are scary and you might struggle with sleep after that, right? So it truly is important for you to understand that where you allow your awareness, that's the kind of energy you will consume at the end of the day. And you don't want to be at a position where you now feel scary or whatever it happens, because you've let your awareness to go at a position, at a place where it was not meant to, or it's just useless for you to have gone there, right? So it is important for you to be more intentional and more deliberate in where you dictate your awareness as a person, so that you could just finally be at a position where you could manifest the things you want to manifest in. So lesson number 11 says that concentration is a default setting for awareness, right? So if you can learn to concentrate, so ultimately at the end of the day, that's how you've learned to dictate your awareness. When you concentrate, that's, you've learned to dictate your awareness to in one position, right? You've learned to be more intentional, to be more deliberate about focusing your awareness in whatever, right? So concentration is a default setting for your awareness, because concentration dictates where awareness sits at the end of the day, right? So all of us should be at a position where we could be more intentional about setting this default setting for concentration, for awareness itself, so that we could just be more intentional on the ability to learn to focus and just live and just get the most out of life itself. So lesson number 12 is derived from his guru. He says that Guru Deva once said that problems are not problems, they are subconscious patterns that needs to be adjusted, right? So if you struggle with stress, if you struggle with depression or whatever, it's not necessarily the fact that you have problems, right? It's just these subconscious patterns that you've created in your mind that just needs to be adjusted, right? So this means at a basic level that your thinking process itself has to be adjusted, right? So it truly is important for you to understand that whenever you think you're struggling with problems, or you have problems or whatever, just understand that it is a default setting, the wrong default setting you have in your subconscious mind. We've said this, that the subconscious mind is the storage of information and experiences, right? And that storage of information and experiences, if there's too much clutter, lapayana, there's quite a lot of chances, there's too much chances, there's high level of chances that you'll be at a position where you are just completely confused, right? So it is important for you to understand that you don't really have problems in life, right? You just have subconscious patterns that needs to be adjusted so that you could understand how to live, right, in whatever situation that you're going through. Just understand that other stuff, if they are completely out of your control, then you don't necessarily have to be struggling and calling them problems, right? So it is important for you to understand that you should develop the right patterns in your subconscious mind, so that you could be at a position where you could fully live and be fully yourself as a person without struggling with just unnecessary problems. Other people have just low-class problems, the problems zamijolo and quite a lot of things. Those are just unnecessary stuff, and you should just be at a position where you could understand how to adjust your subconscious mind to understand that if someone doesn't want you anymore, then you could just learn to be more at peace with that. Yes, it does take time, it does take effort for you to detach awareness in whoever, right? But it is important for you to work out on understanding yourself as a person, right? Instead of struggling in quite a lot of things and getting more depressed or anxious or whatever, right? So it truly is important for you to understand that you don't really have problems, right? But the problem is with your subconscious mind that has patterns that needs to be adjusted. Your thinking process itself, it has to be adjusted to another level, right? So I want to leave you with a bonus tip. It says here, giving someone your undivided attention is one of the highest forms of respect you could express to them. This is such a beautiful way to live as a person in a manner that you could be fully present with all your conversations in life. It is such a beautiful thing. It is just so rewarding for you to be at a position where you could learn to give the people you engage with your undivided attention. And this guy says that doing that is just one of the highest forms of respect. And I always say this as well, Guti. All of us, sifuna umanyelwa, right? Even if you're not an attention seeker or whatever, right? But kumnandi umanyelwa. It is such a beautiful thing to have someone listen to you, right? So it is truly one of the highest forms of respect we could ever implement if we're just able to give someone their undivided attention, right? You could actually just listen to that person. You listen with all your energies, right? In understanding that person, that person does need your attention, right? You fully listen to that person without much of distractions. You're without much of you being busy with your cell phone while talking to that person. That is such a beautiful way to live. So, and this guy teaches us to understand that we shouldn't be impulsive in life, but we should just learn to be fully present with all our engagements. And that is such a beautiful thing. All of us should learn. So it truly is important for us to learn to engage better with life, so that we could just never struggle and stop having this mentality that we need whatever for us to have a better life. Because it's funny, in whatever position where we think we could have something, could at some point have that. And guess what? Things could just be the same, and we never really enjoy that particular thing to a greater extent. So it truly is important for us to be at a position where we could fully immerse ourselves in the eternity of this moment, be present with our conversations, so that we could just get the most out of life and just live. Because really, materialistic stuff, they don't really have much fulfilling aspect in life, in humanity itself. So these are some of the little things we should just learn to be more present with, so that we could just attain the best and the highest states of consciousness. So he says here, if you have spent time developing your powers of concentration, then know that you have created patterns of focus in your subconscious mind. These patterns will serve you positively during the day. You will find that your awareness is not wandering all over the place, even when you are not consciously governing it, because these patterns in your subconscious are of a focused nature. This is such a beautiful way to live, to just understand that you could just train your subconscious mind to just learn to be fully focused, so that you don't struggle in quite a lot of things. You don't need so much effort to straighten your awareness, to focus your attention, because you've trained it. You've had a deliberate process, a deliberate just a level of intentionality in training your subconscious mind to focus, and training your awareness to focus, right? So he says that if the patterns that have been created in your subconscious mind are focused, your subconscious will govern your awareness in a concentrated way. If the patterns that have been created in your subconscious are distracted, then your subconscious will govern your awareness in a distracted way. So that is why it is important for all of us to learn to fully train our awareness, to fully focus on the things that we believe they do matter in our lives, so that we could just get the most out of life, right? And struggle less with distractions, right? Because it truly is important for you to be more intentional about storing the right patterns in your mind, so that you could just get the most out of life. That's why it is important for you to consume the right information, so that the thoughts that you entertain in your brain are of a focused nature. They understand that they are more intentional about help you leverage your mind, so that you could at the end of the day be able to manifest the main purpose of your life. So it truly is important for us to be more intentional about building the right habits for ourselves. If you are truly intentional about getting the most out of life, leveraging your mind, and just the ability to get the most out of life and fully live and manifest the main purpose of your lives. But anyway, we've come to the end of this conversation. I thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful conversation today. I hope you find the courage to get yourself some of these books on personal development, for you to understand yourself, better as a person, even from a philosophical perspective or of a spiritual nature, but just find a way for you to just grow as a person, to understand yourself better as a person, to understand your potential in living and manifesting the main purpose of your life instead of complaining and doing quite a lot of things, right? So I thank you so much.